Thank you, Coach Dave, Mbak Tiwi. Oke, kita buka sesi tanya jawab ya buat rekan-rekan pelatih atau pemain yang mau bertanya. Silahkan untuk ngeklik reaction yang ada di screen teman-teman. Ada yang mau bertanya? Kita open questions ya.
Yeah. Anybody have questions, right?
Mungkin ada yang
Oke. Mungkin bisa tanya di chat juga kalau misalkan agak susah masuk.
Halo Mbak Vika, tes.
Yes, halo.
Oke, Coach Aji Mbak Vika mau bertanya nih sama Coach Dave.
Siap.
Oke, tak mulai deh pertama-tama deh nih, biar untuk mancing juga teman-teman yang mau tanya juga mungkin ya. Oke, mungkin ada beberapa pertanyaan nih Mbak Vika untuk Coach Dave. Ya, sebelumnya halo Mbak Vika, Mbak Tiwi, juga Coach Dave dan teman-teman semua ya.
Halo Mas Aji.
Halo.
Coach Aji.
Halo.
Langsung aku bakal nanya langsung supaya waktunya juga lebih singkat dan teman-teman yang lain juga bisa tanya. Yang pertama masalah di video yang tadi di-share ya sama Coach Dave, itu dalam melaksanakan defense tersebut, saya mau bertanya itu berapa kali sih harus dilaksanakan dan diulang-ulang sampai benar-benar defense itu paseh dilakukan untuk pemain-pemain gitu. Tapi di situ saya bertanya untuk, kebetulan saya megang juga anak-anak SMA ya di tim gitu. Itu gimana untuk anak-anak umur-umur SMA, terus juga yang kuliah dan pemain pro. Itu perbandingannya berapa kali mereka untuk bisa paseh untuk melakukan defense tersebut. Itu yang pertama. Oke, terus pertanyaan yang kedua itu
Okay.
All right.
First question: how many times the drill should be repeated, run, so they can master it?
Thank you for the question.
What's the difference between like high school students, college students, pro level?
For the repetition of the drill. Yeah, thank you for the question. It's a good question. I think it's up to you, Coach, depending on what you feel is best. I'm a very I like it kind of perfected, to be honest, Coach. So players know me. I like to see it a certain way. If I know that it's done right with the energy and the effort, then I'll be okay to move on from that drill. So it's a tough one. It's really your judgment. It's your judgment. But as long as you get what you want out of it, whatever the goal is, 5, 10, a number, the way you want it to look, whatever it is, that's when you normally are okay with it. So it could take 1 time, it could take 10 times. It's really up to you. I'm very detailed and a stickler for that. So sometimes it takes me a little bit longer.
Itu judgementnya sepenuhnya ada di pelatih, karena bisa jadi 1 kali juga udah, karena kalau coach kan inginnya detail dan dia memang ingin pemain-pemain itu buy-in untuk melakukan drill itu secara istilahnya perfect, sebisa mungkin, seperfect, sesempurna mungkin ya. Maka kalau untuk coach sendiri ini agak berulang-ulang kali dan every day ya.
Yeah, every day, exactly. We like to do drills, and the one thing that you can help with it is if you're doing these drills daily, where they understand what it is by week 2, week 3, and it goes by faster. That's one thing you can't help by not just doing new drills so many times, but even doing the same old boring drills. That helps.
Jadi ya, just do the video so the student will can watch the drill.
Yeah. Of course.
Dan bisa mungkin bisa dibantu juga dengan video. Jadi murid-muridnya juga bisa belajar dari melihat gerakan mereka juga, dan pasti berbeda-beda juga sih setiap kondisi, tergantung muridnya juga. Tapi kalau ini dilakukan daily, dilakukan tiap hari, pasti pemain juga akan lebih terbiasa, akan bisa lebih cepat menyerap latihan daripada terlalu banyak drill yang baru. Lebih baik meskipun boring, lakukan.
That's okay. Boring is okay.
Boring is okay.
That's right.
Steve.
That's right.
And the second
question
is it wise to intimidating the opponent?
That's a good question. I think it should come from your culture. It should come from the way that you play. That's how you intimidate an opponent. If you look at some of the best players, some of the best defensive teams in the world that have ever played, they have intimidated by the way that they play, the physicality, the effort, the energy. That's how they've intimidated the opponent, not more so about like talking a lot or being dirty or different things like that. I think it just comes from how you show your culture on the court.
Kalau dari Coach Steve, tentunya itu tergantung dengan budaya dan bagaimana cara orang bermain. Cuma kalau Coach Steve prefer to be, it's like physicality, not
through your play, not your words or your.
Jadi ini kalau memang mau intimidatif itu dengan cara melakukan drill tadi dengan baik dan benar-benar melakukan semua dengan intinya buy in tadi. Jadi itu dengan secara permainan itu sudah akan mengintimidasi lawan. Jadi nggak dengan cara talking.
No, you don't need to do all that.
Nggak perlu kata Coach Steve. Kalau tipikal Coach Steve, dia nggak perlu melakukan intimidasi secara verbal atau hal-hal di luar permainan.
Hopefully that answered your question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you Mbak Tiwi. Ini ada pertanyaan lagi nih di chat room dari Satrio Pinandito.
Thank you Mbak Tiwi, Coach Dev dan Mbak Vika ya. Sorry tadi aku mati keluar sendiri.
Bagi rekamannya ya.
Oke. Ya, thank you. Silakan teman-teman.
Terima kasih Coach Haji.
Ya, thank you Mas Haji.
Okay, there's another question from Satrio Pinandito.
Okay.
How's your view about if we're a new coach in a team and the condition is the competition will be on the next 2 months. So should we build a defense system, the new defense system of the time, or should we use the defense system that already being used? So even even that system is not make us as a coach comfortable.
It's a good question, Coach. Thank you for sharing. That's up to you, and I like that you acknowledge that you're not comfortable with that system. And so what I will say is sometimes you have to be able to adjust and adapt. Maybe you have to spend extra hours learning it. If you don't feel like you're able to implement your new system in time. In my honest opinion, I think that you can do it. I think that you can do it in 2 months. I think that if you work at it every day and you really focus on it, whatever it is, if it's offense or defense, or if it's both, I still think you can. You might not, what they might not do to you, his new system.
Okay.
What they might not do is do the whole system. You might do part of it. You might do the beginning stage of it. Whatever the case is, you're still able to do it, and I think you can be successful with it. But again, this goes back to you knowing yourself best, and if you feel like if the players can't catch on to it, then you most likely stick with the system in place because of the time.
Jadi ya sebagai pelatih memang kita sering dihadapi ke kondisi untuk melakukan adjustment, penyesuaian dan adaptasi. Namun kalau melihat Coach Steve dalam waktu 2 bulan as a coach dengan extra hours, dengan waktu yang lebih teknologi, mungkin misalkan ya sangat mungkin untuk dilakukan. Tapi kan balik lagi we don't really know like 2 months how many times they're
exactly. So if you have that time, then I think you can do it. If you don't, then you probably have to stick with that one.
Karena kalau mungkin bayangannya coach kan bisa latihan tiap hari, tapi ini tergantung dengan timnya apakah 2 bulan ini bisa latihan tiap hari atau enggak. Jika memungkinkan, sebenarnya dalam waktu 2 bulan itu sangat mungkin. Dan honest opinion-nya Coach Steve tadi, mungkin dengan cara tidak mengubah seluruh sistem, bisa aja menyisipkan part of it, per bagian-bagian dan per stage, per level-levelnya, jadi nggak harus semuanya itu baru, tapi mungkin bisa hanya sebagian yang baru. Dan balik lagi tadi kan mungkin tiap pelatih yang paling tahu apakah dirinya, mungkin kalau satu tim tidak cukup waktu untuk menyesuaikan, maka apakah pelatih bisa menyesuaikan agar bisa lebih nyaman dengan sistem yang sudah ada. Dan balik lagi kita juga harus eksaminasi pemainnya dulu juga, apakah pemainnya bisa cepat mengikuti sistem baru. Kalau nggak bisa cepat ya, kata Coach Steve tadi, if the players not able, it's just lebih baik pakai sistem yang lama dan pelatih yang lebih menyesuaikan.
Take it as a challenge early. See if you can help them adapt and adjust to it. If they're not catching on, if they're not the highest, higher level IQ basketball, then yes, you must most likely stick with the one that they're most comfortable with.
Jadi menurut Coach Steve sebagai pelatih, anggap ini sebagai tantangan dulu, coba terapkan kasih perbagian, jika muridnya bisa menangkap lebih cepat, maka tidak bisa menangkapnya dengan cepat, maka paling aman kalau menurut Coach Steve adalah gunakan sistem yang udah nyaman digunakan oleh pemain-pemain tersebut.
Okay, thank you for the question.
Terima kasih Kak Satrio. Thank you for your opinion and the answer, Coach, from Satrio.
All right, thank you, Satrio.
Oke, rekan-rekan pelatih, ada yang mau ditanyakan lagi? Karena juga tahun depan ada Porda juga ya. Ini kayaknya beberapa kabupaten dan bahkan kota juga udah pada mulai latihan ya. Mungkin malah aku malah mau nanya nih. Aku mau nanya nih. Dengan persiapan mungkin ya yang lama as a team lama, itu tuh latihan defense-nya tuh kapan gitu? Mulai start-nya tuh apakah dari awal, misalkan ada rencana latihan tim itu sekitar let's say 10 bulan misalkan. 10 bulan latihan, lalu kapan sih waktu yang terbaik untuk memulai membangun sistem defense gitu?
Bahasa Inggrisnya sendiri, Vic? Ayo, Vika.
Okay, so
the question is, apa Vic? Dengerin. Oh, she's asking about like. Halo, Vic.
Hello.
I think.
Yeah.
Bahasa Inggrisnya sendiri.
Oke, langsung aja ya. So, Coach, if there's a team and have like 10-month preparation, when do you think the best time to start to learn building a defense system, the system to building the system of defense, or the drills, start to run the drills and prepare for the system?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, 10 months is a lot of time. So I think number one, you start right away. I think that it's important to install and implement your defense. I also think defense is, in my opinion, a bit easier to coach than offense. There's so many moving pieces and so many different things on offense. And like I explained before in the lesson, that defense is more about energy, effort, the will to play defense. You don't require a bunch of talent. But setting up your system so that everybody's together, everybody is connected, everybody knows the rules, everybody knows the situations, the schemes. I think early on, it's better than to wait and just do drills and player development. I think that installing those things is important. And that's something that I would do early on, because the quicker we can learn it, the better we'll be moving forward, if you get what I mean. So the smoother things will work. Yeah.
So learn it as soon as possible. Yeah.
I mean, skill and development is important. You have 10 months, so you can do a lot. You can do a lot in 10 months. But again, if you're a coach and you're really relying on defense and you believe in it, you do all types of things. You do skill and development on defense. You do system defense. You do all of those things that can tie into that. So I think it's important to start right away, to be honest. Yes.
All right. Thanks, Coach. And there is a coach who privately messaged me and asked me, Vika, so if the USA national team that this coach ever watched, their defense of man-to-man is like rarely to like helping. They rarely do helping when their defense man-to-man. Do you think is it good when there's no help, or even guarding their home? The USA national teams.
Yeah, it's a really good question, to be honest. When you get to the higher levels, well, number one, it's harder to defend just because the players are so good, but the players are that much better on defense as well. And so they're able to guard their matchup one-on-one, not requiring as much help. So when you're playing in those type of systems, you don't want to help as much, because the other thing about it is the shooting is so good. You have players like Steph Curry on the wing and Joe Harris and all of these guys that shoot 45, 48% from three. So you really can't help that much, because if you help, it's a kick out and it's most likely going in for three. So you want to rely on your one-on-one defense, and you want to help less. And it's something that we talk about, to be honest. When the player can decide to help or not help, meaning they can analyze the situation and say, okay, player is driving, I'm helping, but he's okay. He doesn't need help. So that tells me to go back to my man, and it requires less help. What coach I think is getting to is there's a lot of times where there's over helping in basketball, too much help, and it's easy passes. And what we talk about with Bima is we don't want to over help. So we have to be able to assess the situation and read if the help is required or not. But the Team USA, I mean, they're so good, so they don't need help as much. And the shooting is so good at those levels, you can't help so much. You just cannot. You cannot help. Yeah.
Mbak Tiwi mau jelasin dulu.
Try to explain
Kita harus lihat, menurut ini yang penangkapan saya tadi, untuk kasusnya USA team itu tidak banyak help ya, Vika ya? Itu benar sih? Karena memang pemain-pemainnya sangat bagus dalam shooting, akurasi shootingnya sangat tinggi, jadi kalau pemain melakukan help juga, bolanya akan dikeluarin lagi, dan begitu mereka dapat kosong dan shoot, udah hampir pasti masuk kalau menurut Coach Steve, karena mereka sangat bagus, they're really good. Jadi they just can't help. Jadi emang mereka tidak bisa membantu, karena itu tidak akan benar-benar membantu sistem defensif tim mereka. Makanya kalau yang ditemuin di Bima Perkasa juga, budayanya awalnya sangat over helping, jadi ada yang ngedrive, semua orang keikut gitu, nutup gitu. Padahal over help ini bisa menyebabkan pemain-pemain yang di luar jadi kosong gitu kan, nggak dalam pengawasan. Jadi kita harus nyesuaiin juga tim lawan kita, apakah mereka bagus dalam 3 point, bagus dalam shooting, itu akan mempengaruhi keputusan untuk helping atau tidak. Gitu sih.
Okay, jadi.
So just the last thing to that, because it's important, and we actually have a big struggle with this at practice. So it's a great question. But what we want to make sure that the player is able to analyze is they start at home, right? They start at home. But on the drive, if the player is not beat and still has the man in front, then you go back to your man. You go back and then you take away the pass, you take away those kickouts, you take away those threes, because you know that your teammate has now secured the ball and is okay. Less help, exactly. But being home first, just in case, and if you look and you say, okay, he's not beat, then I can start going back to my man and taking that pass away, taking that pass away.
Right, kalau kata coach itu being at home first, jadi berada di home dulu, and lalu
analyzing the situation.
Analisa dulu situasinya.
If he's not beat,
jika lawannya itu tidak
then now you can start going back to your man.
Dia bisa naik untuk jaga itu sebagai man. So
yes.
If he's not beat,
we can start moving closer to where our man is.
Yeah.
And we can show less help. And we work on these things every day at practice.
Okay. Jadi emang gimana caranya mengantisipasi supaya nggak over helping. Jadi drillnya Coach Dave memang karena ini udah kayak it's like their habit ya.
Habits. Correct.
Mungkin emang akan sangat susah di awal ini ditemui sama Coach Dave. Habitnya masih over helping, tapi dengan latihan yang berulang-ulang maka sekarang udah less dalam helping.
That's important to teach the kids, honestly. Very important.
Okay.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Ini juga ada 2. Mungkin ada tambah 1 lagi yang mau tanya. Habis itu sepertinya karena waktu juga terbatas. Kalau ada 1 lagi mau nanya boleh. Ini kita sambil bahas yang 2 dulu ya. Nanti 1 terakhir bisa tanya. Kalaupun ternyata belum bisa tanya di sesi ini, next time atau bisa DM Coach Dave langsung tanya gitu, boleh juga. Okay. So there are 2 questions from the chat room. So hello Coach and everyone from Reza Arfa. Hi Reza. So hello Coach and everyone. I want to ask you what kind of basic defensive menu or the individual defense?
Reza kita.
Sorry, what is it? I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. What did he say?
So what's the basic defensive drills?
Vika, I think better to answer Mayor Ferdinand question, and then maybe one from the question side.
Okay.
Maaf ya Reza.
Love you, Reza. I'll talk to you soon about that. Thank you for your question, Reza.
Sorry, Reza. Okay.
Mayor Ferdinand. Good evening, Coach Dave. What defense system you think for if our player has a small size? What system that we should do if our players is small size?
It's a great question about. You want to say that can they read that? Do you want to say that to the group so they understand what I'm asking? Answering?
Oh, I think they.
Okay.
Oh, malam Coach. Ini nanya dari Coach Mayor Ferdinand menanyakan sistem defense yang harus kita lakukan bila pemain kita memiliki pemain yang kita miliki banyak bertubuh kecil.
Okay, so it's a good question. Again, you have to play to your strengths. So you're not a big team. You're not a team with size. And what you can do with a small team, a lot of the times, is speed the game up, play a little bit faster, press a little bit more. be a little bit more aggressive, and trap, do different things to change the game, to change the speed in your favor. Because if you're playing against taller teams, they're going to try to beat you inside. They're going to try to use their size. And one thing growing up when I played, we had a smaller team, club team, and we used to press people like crazy for 40 straight minutes. And we would tire teams out for 4 quarters. And it worked a lot. And we were a smaller team. So that's one thing that you can really do is trap and press and play a little bit faster. That's something that you definitely can do and you should look at as a coach.
Pengalamannya Coach Dev saat menangani tim yang kebanyakan juga memiliki size yang kecil, dengan size itu lakukan lebih banyak prep dan press sehingga bisa make their opponent tired.
Go fast and tired, both.
Jadi bisa cepat dan buat tim lawannya jadi lebih cepat capek gitu. And then
don't overplay and lose focus on the rules even when you play fast.
Nah, cuma tantangannya kalau bermain cepat jangan sampai saat bermain cepat jangan sampai hilang fokus terus even play fast. Jadi tetap aturan defense yang like it's like
so if you play fast, coach, and if you want to play fast and you want to trap, don't let it get out of control. Still put rules and systems and guidelines in it to make it like a structured pressure, a structured havoc, structured craziness, to where honestly you can do that with not allowing your players to just go wild and foul and get out of order and get crazy. That's one thing that some people do when they hear play fast.
Jadi cuman yang perlu diantisipasi jika ingin bermain cepat itu jangan sampai aturan-aturannya jadi tidak berlaku, guideline dari pelatih jadi tidak diperhatikan, pokoknya cuma main cepat karena itu akan berisiko lebih ke main bisa foul gitu ya, bisa kayak orang craziness
out of their character. Just doing things that are off the plan. They just got to make sure that he has a guideline, he has a structure to the fast and up tempo play.
Mungkin dari pelatih sudah menerangkan cepat tapi guideline-nya seperti apa. Tetap misalkan kita bisa press tapi juga nggak yang mereka nggak mengikuti structure dari pelatih. Jadi itu harus dijelaskan betul kepada setiap pemain.
Thank you, Coach. Hopefully that answered the question.
Selanjutnya, thank you, Coach Mayer Ferdinand. Thank you for the question.
Yes, thank you.
Oke, selanjutnya ini ada 3 pelatih ya. Ini 3. Mbak Tiwi mungkin bisa mau pilih coach yang mana? Ketiga ya.
Halo Mbak, malam.
Ya.
Selamat malam.
Halo.
Ya, Robert, Mbak Tiwi, Mbak Wika. Halo Coach Dev.
Halo.
Ya. Ini izin mau bertanya nih, Mbak Wika. Jelas nggak ini Mbak Wika suaranya?
Jelas, Coach.
Oh ya. Ya, ini mau tanya untuk yang penjelasan di awal tadi. Tadi disampaikan kalau tim itu harus ada salah satu di dalam tim itu harus ada yang bisa one on one defender ya. Nah, perkembangan bola basket sekarang ini kalau untuk ofensif itu bukan melulu di point guard, shooting guard, forward, small forward. Tapi sekarang ini banyak ada posisi OBH atau offensive ball handler, kemudian shooting ball handler. Sedangkan kondisi dalam tim kita untuk defender 1 lawan 1 aja masih kurang. Nah, untuk menyikapi hal seperti itu dalam tim sebaiknya solusinya seperti apa ya?
So we're talking before that. Do we have one-on-one good defender?
Right.
But there's no one good at it.
Okay.
So like how we handle this kind of situation because for the offensive, apa sih maksudnya?
Kalau offense tuh
kita nggak cuma tentang shooter top shooter yang bisa shooting, tapi kita punya ball handler, tapi dia bisa shooting juga, center bisa shooting juga.
So like everyone can shoot now, not just point guard,
Right.
many other players.
All
also.
positions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying that his team doesn't defend well.
Doesn't have one-on-one.
How much time does coach have with the team? Is it a competition coming up soon, or is it just him training players for a long period of time? How much time does he have?
They have long time and they have short time. So
okay, so if you have a long time, then you have to do your work as a coach and train them and put them in situations and scenarios where they have to get better on defense. That's not only, working one-on-one drills, competitive drills, working drills where you have to work on your foot speed, your capacity to keep somebody in front, and then also working on your agility training, quickness, all of these things that go into you being able to train and teach these players when you have time, because you can become a good defender. It just takes time. And then for the one that when you don't have as much time, then you have to be able to be multiple and change your defense and run zones and switch it up every quarter to give different looks to help your team out, to help those players.
Ini Coach Robert. Jadi ini kalau waktunya ada cukup lama, ya sebagai pelatih bisa memberikan porsi latihan lebih ya, kayak one-on-one situation, terus bisa juga ke physical, like foot speed, agility, right. Untuk supaya mereka juga bisa punya kemampuan fisik untuk bisa menunjang kemampuan defense mereka supaya lebih baik. Tapi kalau memang waktunya tinggal pendek, ya yang paling mungkin adalah multiple. Jadi kasih variasi zone sehingga itu dirasa positif yang paling bisa untuk membantu tim kita dalam situasi kalau waktunya nggak cukup panjang menghadapi pertandingannya.
Big thing, coach, as well, is you have to put them in defensive situations to get better every day if they're not good on defense. You just have to do it as much as possible leading up to that competition as well.
Jadi memang latihan terbaik adalah dengan situasi. Jadi memang harus main ya, harus situasi.
Harus ada pressure yang benar-benar bisa membuat berkembang.
Memang ada latihan-latihan yang situation practice
all the time. Every single day they have to go through it every single day. Yes?
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
The man, Coach. Thanks. All right. Okay.
Yang raise hand Pradipta Wisnu. Silahkan untuk join.
Halo, suara saya kedengeran nggak ya?
Ya, kedengeran.
Kedengeran, Coach.
Sedikit mau tanya aja buat Coach Dave. Jadi, the case is I'm a player, but sometimes I get calls from a friend to get help coaching their teams or something like that. And the problem is the player sometimes doesn't like the practice menu if I give them the defensive system. So but I said that tomorrow we have a practice and it is about the defensive system. Some of them will not come to practice, and that's worse.
Say that to the group where he has to say.
And that's my problem. Do you have any suggestion or something like that?
I do.
Jadi pertanyaannya Mas Pradipta Wisnu ini menarik ya. Jadi
Mbak Tiwi, maaf nyala sebentar. Ini kita wrap up aja gimana? Ada 2 pertanyaan lagi.
Oh iya ya.
Karena ada keterbatasan waktu ya. Kita kumpulin 3 pertanyaan itu tadi.
Ya, langsung aja.
Oke, Coach Irfan, Irfan Salafi, setelah itu Coach Wiwit ya. Monggo silahkan.
Okay, thank you, Coach Dave. Thanks for the opportunity. I just want to ask you some question. One question on the purpose to build a strong defense team. Which one to practice or learn first? Offense first or defense first? Because sometimes when we do some defense drill, it's become not effective because of the limited offensive competence from the player. For example, in shell drill, because of the limited offense competence from the player, the drill become not effective. So, which one the first to practice or learn? Offense first or defense first to the player?
It's a good question, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Wait. Okay.
Jadi dijawab soal kalian ya.
Oke, selanjutnya Coach Wiwit bisa join sama kita. Oke, monggo Coach Wiwit.
Selamat malam, Coach Dave. Ini saya mau yang pertama, habitnya Coach Dave ini kalau setiap game itu main-to-main defense, apa zone defense ya kalau mau mulai gamenya.
Memulai apa, Coach?
Game setiap game kan dia seringnya pakai main-to-main apa zone defense. Yang pertama. Terus yang kedua, untuk main-to-main defense, Coach Dave seringnya pakai help and recover, apa help from weak set, apa help from strong set. Kalau misalkan kejadian tadi 4 lawan 5 tadi. Peninggalan, jadi dia sukanya help and recover, atau help from weak set, atau help from strong set. Nah, saya minta penjelasannya. Kenapa kok dia lebih memilih? Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Coach Wiwit. Oke, Mbak Dewi yang terakhir sudah ini ya, sudah oke ya pertanyaannya. Oke, mohon maaf sebelumnya karena kita ada keterbatasan waktu, jadi untuk terakhir kita akan menjawab pertanyaan dari Coach Pradipta Wisnu, Coach Salafi, dan Coach Wiwit. Silahkan.
Okay, so Coach, the question was about they don't want to come to practice when you tell them it's defense. It's a great point. Again, everything about today's basketball is about offense and shooting the ball and playing with the ball. But you got to believe and you got to tell these kids that it's still important to play defense. It matters. It's the reason of winning a lot of the times. You have to get a stop to win the game. All right, you have to win on a stop usually. And so you have to make sure it's valuable to them. But you got to be creative, Coach. You got to be creative. You can't tell them, all right, man, tomorrow's all defense. You got to give it to them. Sometimes you got to tell them a little bit of a lie. You got to say, hey, we're doing some cool things on offense. We're going to do a little bit of defense. Maybe you just throw that in there. And then we'll finish with a fun game at the end. You can be creative and do some sort of, like I said, games within the defense, making them understand that the way you win this drill or you don't run is by winning on defense. Just becoming more creative with it, Coach, and always putting something fun, especially for kids at the end of practice, and letting them know that. But don't ever just tell them one thing, especially if they don't show up for defense. Okay? Next one. Okay. Yes. Hopefully you got that, Coach. Okay. All right. Next one, Coach. You gave me, should we learn first offense or defense? based upon you said the IQ of the player. Is that correct, Coach? Yes. It's a good question, Coach. It's a difficult one because both are important, right? Offense is so important nowadays, and there's so many systems in place and things that you can teach. But I truly believe that defense is something you should start with because, as I said before, it's the building of your culture. The way that we play here is we really, really make it important to play defense here. We understand that it can win or lose you a game. We can understand that it's a part of the mentality and the culture overall. And so that's our system, that's our style. There's so many things nowadays that you can teach when it comes to offense. The kids can play on their own. They can dribble a basketball. They can shoot a basketball. They can train on their own, ball handling, shooting, all of these things. But 9 times out of 10, a kid's not doing defensive slides at home. 9 times out of 10, a kid is not working on 1 pass away, 2 passes away, ball pressure, arm's length. They're not going to do that at home. And so you're going to need to do that for them and get them interested in that, Coach. And I think that defense is something that I would try to work on. It's another discussion that we can have, Coach, because I have drills and trainings that you can do to help simplify it for them, how I learned when I was young. And I think you should. But I would say defense. But to be honest, Coach, either way you go, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I would say defense. I would say defense. Yeah. So that's my answer. Okay. Thanks, Coach. And then the last one is, was it me?
Yeah.
About me? So when I grew up, Coach, when I grew up, it was man-to-man for me. The reason was because I grew up in Oakland, California. It was all about playing in the streets, playing at the park, playing pickup, one-on-one, mano-y-mano, all about pride and all of that stuff. So the way we grew up was pressure, toughness, in your face, defense. And so that's kind of how we played most of my life. So that's what I told you when we played basketball, we just knew how to play man, pressure, man, in your face. You can't score on me, I can score on you type of situation. So that's what I learned initially. And as I got older, I started to learn zone defense. It's more about zone defense. The question on which one to where to help from, weak side or strong side? Okay, so Coach, the other question I believe is, do you help from the weak side or strong side? We never help from the strong side. You never, especially at the higher levels. I think at the lower levels, to be honest, Coach, when you're coaching like younger kids, you can do it because it's easier for kids to score a 2-pointer than make a 3. So I would help in more, to be honest. But if it's the higher levels where kids can really shoot the ball and guys are making 3s like at the pro level, it's the easiest pass from the strong side. So you want to help less, Coach. And you really want to help from the weak side and make them kick make it a longer pass on the kick out. And we can rotate to that pass faster than the easier strong side. So what we do is we just strong side stunt and back. And we're able to play it, but we also have the help from the weak side because we don't want to give up easy layups. So hopefully that helps your question, Coach. But if it's a younger level, you can help from the strong side, no question. I just don't think the shooting is good enough. As you get older and the shooting gets better, you should never help from the strong side. Coach.
Tadi yang untuk pertanyaannya Pradipta Wisnu sama dari Pradipta Wisnu tadi gimana caranya untuk memberitahu murid-muridnya yang nggak mau datang latihan kalau latihannya adalah tentang defense gitu. Jadi menurut Coach Dave itu kita harus lebih kreatif, mungkin bisa dicampur juga di mix latihannya atau bisa dikasih campuran fun games juga. Jadi dan yang paling penting adalah tell them, kasih tahu mereka alasannya. Jadi oke, offense penting, tapi mereka juga harus paham kalau defense itu juga untuk menang. Oke, dan untuk Coach Irfan tadi juga nanyanya kalau offense-nya juga kurang ya, Coach. Terus gimana offense-nya juga masih kurang, mending latihan offense dulu apa defense dulu. Kalau Coach Dave, dia big believer untuk melakukan latihan defense terlebih dahulu, karena menurut dia offense bisa dilakukan secara tambahan. Anak-anak bisa latihan shooting, dribble sendiri, tapi kalau latihan in a group defense itu karena sistem juga, maka dia akan memprioritaskan untuk latihan defense terlebih dahulu, baru mengejar secara offense. Dan untuk yang terakhir tadi dari Coach Saverius Wiwit, kalau Coach Dave, dia tumbuh di Oakland, di California, itu dia terbiasa berlatih man to man, karena memang di sana kayak bermainnya lebih ke tough, lebih ke physical, pride juga. Jadi secara mental memang dia lebih prefer man to man. Dan kalau untuk jangan pernah helping on strong side.
Never.
Just stun ya.
At the higher levels, never. At the lower levels, you can help from the strong side if you're playing a team that doesn't shoot well.
Kalau untuk di higher level, jangan pernah help di strong side. Overhelp.
He asked about overhelping.
No. Jadi kalau di higher level, jangan
higher level, you don't help from the strong side. You only help from the weak side at higher level.
Di higher level, jangan pernah bantu di strong side, dan jadi prefer ke weak side. Tapi kalau di lower level, di level yang belum, mungkin yang shootingnya belum terlalu baik, bisa di weak side. Kalau di level basket yang mungkin masih kids, like.
Yeah, to be honest, Coach, if you're in a competition and you're playing, you're trying to win, and the shooting is poor overall with both teams, then I would help a lot. To be honest, I would not give up layups. I would make them shoot long shots that most likely you're going to miss, depending on the level that you're coaching, Coach. So if that's the case and you're in a competitive situation, then I would help from the strong side as well at a lower level. Now, once you get higher, you need to teach them not to help.
Kalau di level yang masih bawah dan kemungkinan kemampuan syutingnya masih kurang, maka bisa bantu di weak side. Tapi kalau di level yang udah lebih
strategic.
Ya, kalau di level yang udah tinggi harus belajar lebih. Higher level weak side, lower level strong side ya.
You can
bisa. Jadi ini part of strategy ya.
Yes. So if you want to win and they don't shoot well, then you can help from the strong side, just to limit the 2-point shots, right, and make them shoot long shots. When you get to the higher levels, you're only helping from the weak side.
Okay.
Limit the 2-pointers.
Kalau di lower
the 2 points.
Paksa dia untuk tembak jarak jauh.
Kalau di lower level bisa mulai di strong side karena akan memaksa tim lawan untuk nembak dari jarak jauh. Karena kalau di lower level asumsinya shootingnya belum terlalu baik. Tapi kalau udah di higher level yang asumsinya adalah shootingnya jadi udah lebih baik, maka hanya di weak side only. Jadi jangan pernah help di strong side. Kalau di higher level, level yang lebih baik.
Hopefully that answers you, Coach.
Oke, thank you untuk Coach Pradipta Wisnu, Coach Salafi, dan Coach Saverius Wiwit. Semoga terjawab ya pertanyaannya.
Tapi Kak boleh nyampein nggak? Mungkin secara translasi mungkin ada yang kurang bisa dipahami, tapi nanti kita akan coba buat review lagi secara dari ini kan kita rekam. Mungkin nanti kita bisa kasih papernya gitu ya, Vika ya?
Bisa.
Ya. Gitu.
Ya.
Itu. Ya benar ya Mbak Tiwi. Mungkin secara dari translate, karena kan basket ini kan apa ya, istilahnya banyak bahasa Inggris ya, yang kadang tidak biasa untuk kita translatekan dalam bahasa Indonesia. Untuk kegiatan hari ini, webinar ini direkam dan akan kita upload juga di YouTube. Jadi buat teman-teman dari pelatih maupun pemain yang atau peserta yang ada di webinar pada malam hari ini, ada yang nggak bisa datang atau nggak bisa ikut, bisa cek nanti di YouTube-nya Bima Perkasa. Begitu.
Dan mungkin juga Mbak Vika misalkan ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang masih, misalkan ada pertanyaan dari Coach Dudi juga, nanti kita jawab, bisa dilanjutin ini ya, bisa kita balas di email juga.
Boleh.
Ya, mungkin kalau ada yang tanya-tanya, dikirim ke email aja, Vic, nanti satu-satu dijawab. Oke, Coach.
Iya,
ngomong oke.
Oke.
Email boleh, DM boleh nggak Mbak? DM.
Ya, bisa juga DM langsung ke Coach Dev.
Yeah, you can DM me. You can message me.
What is your Instagram?
DSing2. DSING and the number 2.
DSing2.
Bisa juga DM-an sama Coach Dev.
Atau bisa juga follow di Bima Perkasa JGJ.
You can tell him that's a good question. Coach Dudi, is that his name?
Yeah, Coach Dudi.
Coach Dudi, that's a good question. Okay.
Nanti dijawab di lain kesempatan.
Yeah.
Oke. Oke, seru banget ya. Ternyata banyak pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang sayang sekali karena waktu kita terbatas. Last but not least, Coach, maybe do you want to give some maybe kind of last statement, before we close, last.
Yes. Okay, coaches. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for being here. It shows a lot about you. It shows that you want to learn. It shows that you're very serious about the game of basketball. And you want to get better at it, and you're open to hearing another perspective on basketball. So number one, I would like to thank you guys for being here.
Ya, terima kasih dari Coach Dev dengan adanya sesi ini. Ini menunjukkan betapa teman-teman semua yang udah hadir di sini itu terbuka pada perspektif lain. Karena pasti setiap orang punya perspektifnya masing-masing, tapi dengan mengikuti kegiatan seperti ini, maka being open, terbuka terhadap pendapat orang lain, dan ingin terus belajar dan menjadi lebih baik.
Okay. And then the last thing I'll just tell you guys is, no matter what defense you choose or what system you choose, there is no right answer, to be honest. If you go through what you believe in and what you kind of assess yourself and what you think is important to you, and you analyze what you need to analyze, and you go with it. So whatever I'm telling you today and the way that Bima plays doesn't mean that's the way you need to play. That's why I gave you guys options to be multiple, to also evaluate what your team is like, and to be honest and say, what is our strengths, what is our weaknesses, and what can we do? And so just understand that just playing zone or just playing man or what, there's no right answer. As long as you assess the situation and analyze it, then you can live with the results.
Apapun defense yang kita pilih, yang kita kerjakan, itu tidak ada yang salah ataupun tidak ada yang benar. Tapi selama itu kita terus percaya, dan kita analisa apa yang berhasil, apa yang tidak, kita mau terus melakukan evaluasi dan analisa terhadap apa yang kita kerjakan, maka kita akan menemukan sistem yang terbaik buat tim kita, dan ya baik untuk pemain maupun juga untuk pelatih. Jadi yang bisa juga diingat oleh teman-teman semua, selalu lakukan evaluate, percaya apa yang dilakukan, dan terus analisa apa yang berhasil dan apa yang tidak.
Okay. Last two things, coaches. Sorry, I'm speaking forever. Okay. Daily drills. and repetitions. Like I told you before, doing things over and over and over, even if it's boring, getting very good at those drills, getting very good at those things that you want to get done on defense is very important. And again, guys, coaches, you can do it where it's not boring. You can be creative. You can make it fun and competitive. You just have to find those ways to do it. And there is options. You can message me about it. But again, repetitions is key when it comes to anything in sports, coaching, life. It doesn't matter. You have to really work at it and get those reps so they get comfortable with it.
Daily drills, latihan-latihan harian, dan repetition, pengulangan walaupun boring. Kata coach, boring is okay. Cuma bagaimana sebagai coach menyampaikan ke timnya alasannya kenapa, the reason-nya kenapa. Jadi dengan begitu maka kita juga karena disampaikan kembali kepada murid-muridnya bahwa di latihan apapun, olahraga apapun, repetisi adalah kuncinya, key-nya. Jadi just make sure, namun make it fun, buat ini lebih fun dan penuh dengan alasan. Jadi mereka juga punya reason kenapa melakukan 1-2 hal, mereka tahu tujuannya apa. Kasih mereka hope ya, like goals.
Yeah. They got to reach for something. Exactly.
Yeah, reason, yeah.
And then the last thing, guys, is believe in what you teach. Okay, believe in what you teach. So they will follow. They will follow, especially if these kids want to play basketball. They want to be a part of a team. Their friends are on that team, and they want to play with their friends. Whatever the case is, believe in what you're teaching, and then they will follow it and have answers and have solutions for those people when they ask. Really understand what you want to do. Be able to answer the questions that they have, find quick solutions for them, and then be able to motivate them. But again, you guys can do it. Defense is somewhat of a lost art, and I think people still have to understand how important it is to win on that side of the ball. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys in the future, and I really do appreciate being here with you guys, and I thank you guys for your time.
Terakhir, yakin dengan apa yang kita latih, apa yang kita ajarkan, saat kita percaya dengan apa yang kita sampaikan, dengan apa yang kita lakukan, maka semua orang akan mengikuti kita. Mereka saat kita sendiri sudah percaya, kita yakin, kita siap dengan segala pertanyaan dan solusi. Jadi kita jadikan mereka juga seperti kita harus siap dengan ready for any question and solution.
Yes.
Ya, jadi selalu siap dengan jawaban dan solusi, maka pun semua orang juga akan mengikuti dengan apa yang kita percayai. Ketika kita juga udah selalu siap dengan jawaban dan solusi. Nah, terima kasih. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you guys very much, and I appreciate your time, and I really enjoy speaking with all you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Terima kasih untuk Coach Dave, Mbak Tiwi, dan juga rekan-rekan pelatih, pemain, ataupun juga ada guru yang ikut pada webinar kali ini. Sebelum kita tutup, kita grup foto dulu, kita open cam. Teman-teman yang bisa open cam, kita open cam. Kita kameranya dibuka aja, nggak apa-apa. Karena kita mau grup foto. Oke, let's go. Oke, ayo. Open cam.
Alright.
Come on. Okay, thank you.
Francis.
Oke. Cheers on 3 ya. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Yes. Oke.
Lagi. Ada 2 page ya, Vic?
I think there's a second page. No?
It's all good though.
Oh, okay.
All good.
You got it. Hey, Coach, look at Coach throwing it out. Huh?
Thank you.
Alright.
So demikian webinar Better Defense pada malam hari ini. Terima kasih banyak atas perhatian dan antusiasme teman-teman pelatih, pemain ataupun ya peserta secara umum yang ada di webinar pada malam hari ini. Kami mohon maaf apabila ada salah kata atau perbuatan atau hal-hal yang tidak kurang nyaman begitu selama kita menyelenggarakan webinar. Thank you so much. Kami berharap kita bisa nyambung tali persaudaraan ini lebih lagi. Mungkin next time kita bisa ketemu lagi untuk melakukan webinar yang lain lagi. Begitu dari saya. Oh ya, saya punya pantun ini.
What?
Terakhir ya, sebelum kita tutup. Oke.
No, what's in English?
Oh, don't worry. You can tell me later.
Last one ya. Pergi ke Jogja makan bakmi. Tangan sampai bersih.
Wow.
Cukup sekian dari kami. Kami ucapkan banyak terima kasih. Oke, thank you so much untuk semuanya.
Terima kasih semuanya.
Thank you guys. Thank you coaches.
Everyone.
Okay, thank you coach.
Bye coach.
Bye.
Malam mingguan kita ini rame-rame. Padi.
There he is.
Koejian juga.
Lagi banyak ya.
Dadah. Terima kasih ya.
Kak D. Halo Kak D.
And message me if you have a question.
Terima kasih. Don't forget to catch me on your Instagram. Reply.
Bye everybody.
Cool.
Terima kasih.
Thanks guys.
Dadah semuanya.
Okay, thank you all.